Parkash Singh Badal, a five-time former Chief Minister of Punjab and Akali Dal patriarch, died at a private hospital in Mohali. He was 95. The death was confirmed by the personal assistant of his son and party president, Sukhbir Singh Badal. The former Chief Minister was admitted to the Fortis Hospital in Mohali a week ago after he complained of uneasiness while breathing. He was also the youngest Chief Minister to ever hold office in the state of Punjab. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has led the tributes to the Punjab leader, calling him a colossal figure of Indian politics and a remarkable statesman. Megha Prasad is now joining us for more. Megha, several condolences pouring in already.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, starting from the Prime Minister to the BJP President to people from other parties, condolences, of course, they are coming in. But as far as Mr. Badal is concerned, the life that he led and his political career, it's been a very, very illustrious career that he had. A man who actually started as the youngest Sarpanch, going on to be the oldest Chief Minister in this country, having served about 5 terms as the Chief Minister, perhaps one of the longest serving Chief Ministers in this country. Mr. Parkash Singh Badal did have a very, very significant place in the political life of our country. And yes, when the Prime Minister today, some time back, sent his condolences to the family, he talked very fondly about Parkash Singh Badal. And I have seen, Prime Minister with him at several occasions, sometimes in the Parliament, outside as well. And, the respect that he attached and respect that he gave to Mr. Parkash Singh Badal is something that you would notice if you were around. The tweet that he has put out, Prime Minister, saying that Parkash Singh Badal's passing away is a personal loss for me. And he was indeed extremely close. Remember, this is Parkash Singh Badal's party, Shiromani Akali Dal, one of the longest allies of the Bharatiya Janata Party. When the Prime Minister says, I've interacted closely with him for many decades and learned so much from him. I recall numerous conversations in which his wisdom was always clearly seen. Condolences to his family and to the countless admirers. So that's one. But apart from that, several other leaders, in fact, the Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Mann, he's tweeted and he said, Purv Mukhyamantri Parkash Singh Badal के निधन का दुखद समाचार मिला. वाहेगुरु दिवंगत आत्मा को अपने चरणों में स्थान दे और परिवार को दुख सहने की शक्ति दे. So, of course, condolences are pouring in. But like I said, somebody who was a really tall figure as far as the politics of our country is concerned, someone who was very respected and revered, born in a family of, landowners. He went on to, earn a BA degree really early back, and his foray into politics was as early as 1947. When he'd become a sarpanch in his village. And in 1957, he was elected for the first time in the Punjab Legislative Assembly. And his introduction in the Assembly was as a member of the Indian National Congress, though he left the party a few years later and then, started his own outfit, the Shiromani Akali Dal. Long political career, Maha. But today, a loss. And, when you have condolences coming in from across parties, it makes you realize the kind of importance that each one of them attached to him, personal relationships that many of them have had. And, today's leaders talking about how much they have learned from him. At the age of 95, has passed away, so he's had a long, long career and has perhaps touched the political careers of many youngsters.
All right. Megha getting us the details as condolences pour in for Parkash Singh Badal, the former Chief Minister of Punjab, who has died. Let's move on now. US President Joe Biden has announced he will seek a second term in 2024, plunging at the age of 80 into a campaign that could set up a rematch against Donald Trump. Joe Biden makes his 2024 presidential run official, declares his job to defend American democracy.
This is not a time to be complacent. Let's finish this job. I know we can.
Making the 2024 match official, Biden did not mention Trump by name, but the video included images of the attack on the Capitol and an overt reference to Trump's hold on the Republican Party. The 2024 match begins.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
While some Americans feel Biden is too old to run for the presidential race again, Biden believes it's all about energy and not age.
Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights.
Biden's entry into the race follows Trump's announcement in November, seeking a second term after losing the 2020 contest to Biden.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
So what have been the Biden administration's hits and misses so far? Analysts believe the federal government's job ratings dropping by half since 2021 is a huge miss. However, they feel weathering the US banking crisis in particular so far has been a hit. While survey respondents remain divided on Biden as well as Trump's rematch, Biden administration has released a summary of the classified reports that mostly blamed the chaotic 2021 US pullout from Afghanistan on Donald Trump for failing to plan for the withdrawal he had agreed on with the Taliban. Bureau Report, NDTV. Joining us on the show now, Raymond Vickery, former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce, Senior Associate, Center for Strategic and International Studies, Vadvani Chair, Washington, D.C., supports Joe Biden, and Dr. Sampath Shivangi, former advisor to the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services, U.S. member, Donald Trump for President, Inc. supports Donald Trump. Let me first go across to Raymond Vickery. Are Democrats certain that age won't be a hurdle or be made an issue by the Republicans during the campaign?
Well, thanks very much for having me. I think this is a good day for democracy. Of course, age will be trumpeted by the Trump supporters as a factor. But when you have a guy who's as old as Trump is, I mean, he's only 3.5 years younger. And if he were to be elected, he would be the oldest president in history of the United States. I don't think that's really a big factor. I would say on a personal note, I have a rooting interest in this. My 81st birthday is on Sunday. And I don't feel that I'm finished by any means.
All right.
The fact is that science has progressed enough that you can be as active and as able at 80 as you formerly could at 70. So I think Joe Biden has a track record of accomplishment, both in terms of infrastructure, in terms of recovery from the pandemic, and he certainly has stood up for truth against the lie that Trump has built his campaign on, the lie that in fact he won in 2020, which he didn't.
All right, but are we certain that this is going to be a rematch between Biden and Trump? Dr. Shivangi, are we looking at Donald Trump being the obvious choice for the Republicans, is it?
As of now, of course, he is, because he has 44% of approval rate in US compared to Biden, who has only 36% of approval rate with the Democrats. So Trump has done wonders in the sense the economy was thriving, unemployment rate was low, and the inflation was very, very low. And we did not have any international issues like Biden has got into Afghanistan, which was a fiasco. And now with Ukraine, we don't know where we are going. I think if Trump was president, I don't think we would have had a Ukraine issue at all. And Trump is promising if he becomes president, within 24 hours, we'll resolve Ukraine issue. But we have to.
Okay, Raymond Vickery, sir, Dr. Shivangi, I'll interrupt you there because you've raised foreign policy issues. Raymond Vickery, do foreign policy issues appear to be big issues during election campaigns, or will it largely be more domestic issues in nature, something like the economy or abortion rights?
Well, I think that with any democracy, unless there is an actual shooting war on involving the nation, the domestic issues take precedent. That's true in India. It's true wherever you have a democracy. But I do think that on foreign policy, there is a great track record for President Biden. He's taken away this transactional thing, only what kind of a deal can I make to benefit me, which has been the Trump approach, to a more institutional and relational one. And the relations with India have never been higher. I think that we're standing together against China, and it's a good record. It's particularly important in regard to standing up for democracy, in regard to Ukraine, where he's pulled the allies together. On Afghanistan, the whole experience in Afghanistan was something that the United States has not covered itself with glory on. And this is true through 3 presidents over 20 years and $3 trillion spent. And so that is not going to be a primary factor.
All right. Dr. Shivangi, what Raymond Vickrey said with regards to democracy, I want to take that thought forward with you. What the present president who's going to run for president again, Joe Biden, has said is that they're fighting for the soul of America. Does that point, make things tricky for Donald Trump? Because the insurrection issue, what happened in January 2021, immediately comes to mind.
Well, I agree on some points. But see, when President Trump was president, India and US had the best relation. Who initiated the quiet relations? President Trump was instrumental in having access India, Japan, Australia, and the US. Who did that? President Trump initiated that. Of course, President Biden is continuing that. See, I'm not against Biden in any way, but still, see, the ambassador to India, it took 2 years after he became a president. I mean, where do you come across India is such an important country? How come you have an ambassador coming to India, US ambassador to India, after 2 years of his presidency? It's unheard of. So many other things we can question, but I don't think President Biden has visited India, or Kamala Harris, who is supposed to be.
But Dr. Shivangi, Donald Trump, as Raymond Vickrey points out there, had a knack for a very transactional sort of a relationship. He also pulled away India's GSP status as well, and pressured India on issues of tariff and trade, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but see, sometimes you have to give and take. It's not a one-way street. But I think he came to India, he visited India, admired India, and he was a big supporter. President Biden is somehow, I feel, Democrats are not very, very for India compared to Republicans. So compare President George W. Bush, who brought India-US civil nuclear treaty. And he's a Republican president.
Okay.
And I feel more in...
All right. Raymond Vickrey, would you want to respond to that? That Republicans are better for ties with India than the Democrats?
Well, of course they aren't. And one of the great things about U.S.-India relations, and I can tell you this from having served all the way from the Clinton administration, is that it has been bipartisan in terms of support. It's one of the few areas in which we have had across the board bipartisan support. And this goes back to President Clinton and his visit. It goes into the civil nuclear deal under George W. Bush. It goes through Obama and putting together the next steps in strategic partnership. And it continued with Trump, and it continued with Biden. So that's not really the issue at this point in U.S.-India relations. The question is, where do we go from here? And I believe that it is absolutely the fact that we have reached new heights in terms of an institutional relationship. You look at the defense relationship, you look at the willingness to source materials, and it's a good record.
All right. Many thanks to both of you for joining us here on this discussion. And of course, it's going to be an interesting fight that we'll see in 2024.
Thank you so much. We look forward to it.
Let's move on now and talk about the International Buddhist Summit that was hosted and was organized in New Delhi. This was last week. We're taking now a look at the overarching message that was sent out through the summit. And joining us on the show is Rajiv Mehrotra. Many thanks, sir, for speaking with NDTV. First question, direct on the message of the summit.
The effort of the summit to re-articulate and reaffirm the value of Buddhism in today's times was very successfully achieved, and I think that was one of the intentions. There was also, of course, the geopolitical aspect, and that is that the Chinese have been moving very aggressively to usurp this. And I think their strategy also encompasses an effort to undermine Tibetan Buddhism per se, or at least to take ownership of it, independent of the Dalai Lama himself. So they have been very aggressive, and they have set up universities and research centers in a far larger context and initiative than we have in India. And so I think this was equally, though we may not be sort of happy admitting this, and India's initiative to be able to, at the very least, counter the Chinese efforts to do so, if that indeed is of some concern to us.
So was that geopolitical message sent out as well?
Well, of course. I mean, in Buddhist terms, the world will eternally be in a flux, and it is Buddhist values that, because it is a philosophy that and an approach that continuously embraces advances in human knowledge and human understanding. So it doesn't sort of, as I pointed out, there are millions of people around the world who describe themselves as friends of Buddhism without really formally being Buddhists. And I remember I was in Costa Rica a few years ago, and I was invited to speak at the Buddhist Center there. And more than 3/4 of those present were actually Catholics who felt that they had something to learn from Buddhism without being threatened or challenged by Buddhism. And I must really bring in the pivotal role of the Dalai Lama as the centerpiece of, in a sense, the summit, and of course the growth and the influence of Buddhism, because here is a preeminent Buddhist leader, who's able to, while being true to his faith, able to go to a mosque and perform the namaz, or go to a Christian church and sing a hymn, or go to a synagogue, and to embrace diversity, and really from a position that says that the aspiration of religion, philosophy, and the human enterprise really is to understand the true nature of reality.
My final question to you would be about the controversy over a recent viral video.
An excerpt that went out to more than 5-6 weeks later suddenly went viral. And it's also interesting that, how and why did it go viral? I mean, there has been, sort of a lot of documentation and news reports about, Russian intervention in the American elections that we are familiar with, of Chinese efforts to manipulate media. And sadly, we never expected that this would impact mainstream media in India as much as it did social media. And the greatest beneficiary, of course, of this is China, and we can expect a sustained strategy to undermine the Dalai Lama as he ages, and the issue of succession takes center stage. And so, apart from the cultural aspect, the fact that it was done in full public view, and what was really appalling was that there were some sort of television programs that even went as far as suggesting that the Dalai Lama should be investigated by the police to verify his intent, that the intent was not of child abuse. I mean, I think this is, a far greater commentary on who we are and who we are becoming than any impact it might have had on the Dalai Lama's credibility and reputation.
Rajiv Mehrotra, many thanks for speaking with NDTV. Let me now go across to Thupten Jingpa as well. He is the principal translator for the Dalai Lama. Sir, the first question remains pretty much the same that I asked Mr. Rajiv Mehrotra with regards to the message, the overarching message of the summit.
Well, the key message, I think it was actually the theme of the conference itself, this Global Buddhist Summit, was to really kind of bring attention to the resources that are available in Buddha's teachings on the importance of peace and non-violent approach to dealing with the affairs and needs of human beings and society. I think that was really the key point, that there are resources in the Buddhist tradition that should be looked at very seriously. I think, tendency often is to resolve conflicts and problems by using force. And Buddha has really, one of the things that Buddha is most well known for, and generally India is well known for, is really the approach of ahimsa, non-violent approach. Problems and conflicts will be there so long as human societies remain. But the method of resolving the conflict, that it is a choice, and it's up to us. And non-violent is a powerful approach, which in modern times, Mahatma Gandhi has powerfully demonstrated its efficacy. So that was the key message, I think.
So when the message of peace is sent out, what one would like to understand, for instance, a country like India too, is, has countries around it that are aggressive in nature. Was that sort of a message sent out of stopping conflicts?
I think His Holiness did not specifically speak about the current kind of global geopolitical situation, but the key message that His Holiness brought to the attention of the conference gatherings and the world at large that are viewing it was to really emphasize a key principle in the Buddha's teaching, which is the appreciation of the principle of interdependence. Because often conflicts arise because we tend to look at reality in very simplistic forms and blame one thing and then latch onto it. But Buddha's teaching on principle of dependent origination, which is pratitha samubhada, really points out the complexity that is behind any major event. There are multiple causes and conditions, and it's important to recognize the interdependence because, violent approach may solve a situation or a problem immediately, but then it sows the seed for yet another potential conflict down the line. So this interconnectedness or interdependence is a key, kind of idea in Buddhism, and His Holiness really in his presentation really kind of focused more on fleshing that out. And the point he's making is that this is one contribution Buddhist tradition can make, to the world, where asking people to appreciate this interdependence and, principle of interconnectedness quite seriously, so that we can, whenever we deal with a situation, we can deal with the situation with a broader perspective, so that we don't immediately respond in the form of a knee-jerk reaction by looking for temporary solution. I think that was the key message he was bringing.
All right. Thupten Jingpa, many thanks for speaking with NDTV.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
With that, we're taking a very quick break. News and updates will continue. Stay with us.
Brought to you by
20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense-paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The News with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense-paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues.
You're watching Breaking Views on NDTV. I'm Maha Siddiqui. Now, the Karnataka political terrain being crisscrossed at the moment by big wigs of the BJP and the Congress. Now, what are we seeing at the moment? The campaign is reaching pretty much its crescendo and entering into the final lap. Home Minister Amit Shah has in fact defended the BJP government's decision, the Bomai government's decision rather, for the 4% quota, which at the moment, remember, is on hold. 4% quota for Muslims that they said would be scrapped and then be split between the Lingayats and the Vocaligas. This decision has been stayed by the Supreme Court, but this point has been defended today by Amit Shah. He said that the BJP does not, in fact, believe in giving quota on the basis of religious grounds. But the Congress's D.K. Shivkumar has hit back, saying that the BJP was trying to distribute chocolates and has failed in its attempt to do so. Of course, he is referring and taking a dig at the BJP for saying that they will split this quota between the two major communities, the Lingayats and the Vocaligas. The Lingayats who have supported the BJP so far, and the Vocaligas are the ones that the BJP is looking at wooing from the JDS's kitty. Meanwhile, the Congress continues to talk about 40% corruption and has drummed up this narrative against the BJP government, specifically the Bomai government. Let's head straight into the discussion now and go across to our guests who are joining us on the show this evening. From the Congress party, we will have Aishwarya Mahadev, who will join us in a bit, advocate and spokesperson of the Congress. Vijay Prasad, BJP spokesperson of the Karnataka. Pratap L. Kanagal, JDS spokesperson. President of State IT Wing, and Sanjal Shastri, independent researcher. Vijay Prasad, coming first to you. Is the BJP finding it hard to contest the Congress's campaign pitch at the moment of 40% corruption of the Bomai government? And is this why now we are seeing this aggressive campaign and Amit Shah bringing up the issue of 4% quota for Muslims?
Maha, before I start my debate, I would like to read out a small statement for the benefit of the viewers. The state government has filed its statement of objection. The case has been adjourned to 9th May. Please note the word adjourned to 9th May. No hearing took place. Earlier, assurance given by the state government for not giving effect to order continues till 9th May. No stay has been granted. Please note down the word, mark my words, no stay has been granted.
Okay.
Having said that, even though there is no constitutional recognition, Muslims in Karnataka have been enjoying this reservation for the last 30 years. Party BJP never believed in religion-based politics. Now the BJP government has taken a bold decision to abolish Category 2B. We stand by that. And we condemn the stand of the Congress that the quota will be restored if is voted to power. If voted to power. I would like to ask the Congress, whoever comes, I would like to ask and remind them two things. In 1953, when the Kaka Kalekar Commission was formed by the central government, it clearly stated that the Muslim community could not be accepted as a backward class. And the second example, I would like to remind the Congress of its appeasement politics and the vote bank politics. In 2005, the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Rajashekar Reddy, fell into the trap of, again, the appeasement politics and vote bank politics, and he went ahead and gave 4% reservation to the Muslims. But remember, the 5-bench judge of the Andhra Pradesh High Court quashed the Muslims' reservations.
Okay. All right. So let's put some of those points now to Aishwarya Mahadev.
Now,
she's there with us.
I would like to ask Congress.
Yes, let her answer then.
I know. She does not have an answer. I am well aware of it.
We haven't yet gone to her.
I would like to ask one last thing to her. Aishwarya, the Congress spokesperson. If at all Congress gives back this 4% back to the Muslims, from which community are they going to distribute?
All right. So let's put those questions to her. Aishwarya Mahadev, Vijay, I'll request you to please just hold on to your thoughts now. Let the others on the panel speak as well. Aishwarya Mahadev, Amit Shah has today said that the Congress will ensure that this quota to the Muslims would be restored if they are voted to power. Is the Congress worried that this narrative that is now being based on religious lines can overshadow a campaign that the Congress has tried to conduct purely on the issue of corruption against the Bomai government?
Good evening, Maha. I think the BJP is presumptuous, full of rhetoric, and is also trying to mislead all the viewers here today, because there are a few facts that have to be put out very clearly. First and foremost, the quota for the Muslims in my state, whether it was the Miller Commission report under the previous state of Mysore, whether it's Chinnappa Reddy and subsequent reports, and Chinnappa Reddy committee report happened 16 years even before the Sachar committee report, all of them offered reservation to the Muslims not based on religion. One, it was not a faith-based reservation. It was because of economic and social backwardness, and the observation was some of them are worse than even the scheduled castes, and that is what the report tells you. One. Second, if the BJP really did not want caste-based or religion-based discrimination, they've been in power even before previously. They've illegally taken power 2-3 times, but this became an issue now in elections because they are morally bankrupt of any other issue. So let me give you a few of the facts of the Supreme Court, and I hope you will indulge me on the same. When this entire reservation policy or this cabinet decision of Bommai government comes through, one, it's constitutionally untenable because you've broken the 50% ceiling and you have not placed the subsequent law in the 9th schedule. Second, neither have you amended Article 15 and 16 of the Constitution, which would allow you to do this. Third, when they ask me this, who will you pluck from and who will you take from? Sir, the unscientific manner in which you abolished an entire category of reservation and in order to create division, split it amongst two communities that were asking you 15 and 16%, but you gave them 2% each, shows you who are the people that are trying to divide. Maha, I will tell you exactly what the Congress wants to do. We believe that also legally, every single sort of decision of categorization and recategorization of castes has to come from three things: an empirical study, a socio-economic survey, and the final report of the respected commission, whether it's the backward classes or the SC/ST commission.
Okay.
None of which have been done in this case. The Congress is saying for social justice to be ensured, after we come to power, this entire unscientific, unconstitutional reservation policy of theirs, which serves nobody, will be thrown out, and we will ensure the socio-economic census.
All right,
The BJP is so bankrupt.
Okay, I'll request you now to hold on to your thoughts. Let me go across to Pratap Kanagal. Just a second, Aishwarya. Let's put that point. Let's put that point of the two communities that you were that you've raised in this discussion here. Just a second. I'll request both of you to just hold on to your thoughts. Let me go across to Pratap Kanagal from the JDS as well. The BJP is wooing the Vocaligas as well. Do you see them slipping from your, grip, if I may put it that way, since they have been backing your party, especially with the promise that the BJP has made to split that 4% quota for Muslims between the Lingayats and the Vocaligas? Is the JDS worried?
First of all, you don't have to be worried because BJP tried everything to get the votes from Vocaligas and South, especially the old Mysore region, and they literally failed. To ignite any communal tensions and all those controversies in the past. That's why just before 15 days before the election, they come up with this Muslim quotas, and just before that, they even come up with this internal reservation. Even though they knew the fact that it's not going to their reservation, whatever the changes made, it's not going to stand. Even though that they have made that is because they don't have they in Karnataka.
Are you suggesting this was just a signal sent out? But even then, shouldn't the JDS be concerned, even if it's just a signal being sent out to the Vocaligas?
No, we are sure that Vocaligas are not so. Vocaligas are not easily get trapped into these tactics of BJP. It's a gimmick, election gimmick, and they're playing. It's not the new BJP is doing in state. It's BJP people are they're smart to. Get into the trap. They
right. The JDS seems to be pretty confident of the Vocaligas votes there for them. But let me go across to Sanjay Shastri. Just a second. I want to go across to our next panelist here. Sanjay Shastri, do you see the Prime Minister, who will now start campaigning aggressively in the state of Karnataka in the next 10 days? I believe there are several meetings back to back that he will be addressing. Do you see the Prime Minister also now building on what Amit Shah has said today?
Yes, I think so, because for the BJP, I think, and for all parties now, this has opened up a real political Pandora's box with using the reservations as a political tool. I would say that it's also, if you look at Karnataka and the way the small margin of votes sometimes, even a 2 or 3% shift of votes either ways can completely, change the face of the election results. So I think all parties, including once the BJP gets the Prime Minister to come, will try to make most of this issue to try and capitalize and get for the BJP to consolidate the vote share amongst Lingayats and the Vocaligas. Also remember that amongst Lingayats, there is the issue of the former Chief Minister Jagdish Shettar, who's now left the party. So there's also a concern whether some of the the Lingayat votes is going to get impacted by that move. So keeping that in mind, I think this could be an issue that the Prime Minister would double down on, and also across the political board with the Congress also using it to reach out to the Muslims. This will become a much more serious political issue in the coming few days in the build-up to the elections.
Aishwarya Mahadev, is the Congress braced up for a situation of this nature? Do you believe that your party has been able to create enough buzz on the ground over the 40% corruption allegations that have been leveled against the Bomai government for any other issue to overshadow that now?
Maha, I think the 40% commission allegation was not only from the Congress, but contractors associations, private school associations.
They have not been able to.
I have not interrupted him. Can you please ask him to behave?
See,
I will not speak as long if he's not muted. I will not speak if he's not muted. I did not interrupt him.
Mr. Prasad, I will come to you. I'll come to you separately, sir. You can respond to all the points that Aishwarya Mahadev has made, but I'll request you to just give her time to speak.
You have failed. Maha.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you, sir. We have enough time on this discussion. Please don't speak over the other panelists.
Maha, your shows are better than this. Can you please mute him? I will not speak until.
Mr. Vijay Prasad, I don't want to mute you. I'm humbly requesting you to let the other panelists speak, and I will come to you.
Embarrassing.
Yes, go ahead, Aishwarya Mahadev.
Is he done?
It is embarrassing.
You know, it's embarrassing being you right now, sir, but can I complete and then you can shout?
It is embarrassing
Vijay Prasad, sir, please give that much courtesy to your fellow panelists. Let her speak. I will come to you. You will get ample time. Aishwarya Mahadev.
The frustration is clearly very evident on all of the BJP. I think the Congress is look at this.
I know.
Vijay Prasad, honestly, you're embarrassing yourself on national television. Do you need to be and I'm going to say this again. Do you need to be schooled?
Also, yeah.
Aishwarya Mahadev, please answer the question I've asked you. Do you believe that you have created enough buzz, your party rather?
I believe we have so much buzz that the BJP is so frustrated that they send the likes of Vijay Prasad to interrupt us when we're getting to the point. Maha, we have run a very tight plank on the fact that this is a corrupt government, or corrupt to the core. Then we've run a positive agenda of the guarantees for the people of state. And I think we are very, very sure on a surefire plank that basically even if Prime Minister Modi and all his leaders come 20 to 30 times, it still cannot counter the wave of the Congress on the ground. And the BJP is going to try as much as it wants, but they cannot move us off our plank. This communalism, this Hindu-Muslim, this PFI, these narratives of national Modi ji ko chunaiye, vote for him and whatnot, because obviously this government here is so corrupt that you need Modi ji to save you. Those narratives will not work. My state and its people are smarter than this sort of humbug that is being spread around by the BJP that have no positive agenda, that are moral.
Okay, all right, let's go across to Vijay Prasad. Now, Vijay Prasad, please hear my question.
Now, please,
before let's start answering, Aishwarya, I request you now to just give time to Vijay Prasad. Vijay Prasad, in the final lap of the campaign, is the BJP trying to throw the Congress off track with its tried and tested formula that has actually worked for the party time and time again electorally?
No, Maha. This is the right time for me to take Congress head on and expose them publicly. They have used time and again Muslims as their vote bank politics and for the appeasement politics. After the election, they just ditch them, they just throw them to the drain.
But sir, that allegation is being made by the JDS and the Congress against you. They are saying that you are trying to appease these two communities, Vokaligas and Lingayats.
Maha, let me come back. We have a basic this one to make sure that whatever this we are doing, we are on the right track. Now, let me come to the point of where the Muslim majority in the states like say Kerala. Muslim majority states like Kerala, they have Kochi Memon, Nawayat Bohra, Sheikh, Sayyid, Pathan, Mughal, Shia, Sunni. These are the Muslims which have been kept out of OBC list in this state. In Kerala, only Mappillai Muslims are just kept in the OBC category. Now, tell me, the Congress Congress who have been using this vote bank as politics, why did they keep the Muslim community so backward, educational, this one? They are the root cause of the problem.
But Vijay Prasad, I think Aishwarya Mahadev made a point suggesting that this is done on what the state believes is the social standing of the Muslims within the state. Aishwarya, was that the point you were trying to make?
Whatever
Maha, the point we tried to make was very simply this. The Muslims in my state have never been classified based on religious grounds, but because of socio-economic backwardness.
So is it or is it not comparable to Kerala? What is being stated by Vijay Prasad?
And Maha, the reality even in Karnataka is that there are certain sections of Muslims that are kept in category 1, which means they do not have the same sort of most backward status, or it was based on the socio-economic surveys. The BJP is trying to completely shift
now
the
let
narrative.
Vijay Prasad respond to that. Vijay Prasad,
try and act like this was faith-based reservation, which it was not.
All right, Vijay Prasad, respond to that. She's saying this is not faith-based
Yadurappa was
reservation.
chief minister twice. If he thought it was so wrong, why didn't he do it then? Why are you bringing Hindus now when you're completely unaware of the reality? Go read up.
Let Vijay Prasad respond. I have to go to the other panelists as well.
Intent is important, not the timing. Intent is important.
Intention because you have no other issues.
No. So,
if the intention,
why did you
BJP's only intention is confuse the voters. That's all.
Muslims
BJP's intention is confuse the
all right, I'll come to you, Pratap Kanagal. Just hold on. Let Vijay Prasad finish. I'll come to you. All right, Pratap Kanagal wants to make a point. Go ahead now, make your point.
See, this Muslim quota reservation came into effect when Mr. H.D. Devegowda was the Chief Minister of Karnataka since 1994. After that, BJP was in power. Single party power from 2008 to 2013. Then later, from 2019 to 2000, till now, BJP was in power. Why did they do anything? Why just on the eve of the election, just before 1 week of the elections announcement, they want to take up this issue. They tried everything possible to Vakaligas and Lingaites. When Lingaites were going away and Vakaligas didn't care about their all the tactics. Now they have come out with
all right. So you are raising the question, or you are raising the question of timing over here. Okay. Sanjay Shastri, do you want to weigh in on that? The point that is being made by the JDS representative here is the timing.
People of Karnataka have felt
Pratap Kanagal, just hold on. Just let Mr. Sanjal respond to the point that you've made.
I just missed out. There's a network issue. Could you just repeat the question?
So basically the point that the JDS representative is making here is about the timing that this issue has been raised. He's saying that the Lingayat leaders who have left the BJP, they believe that this is a good way to counter the damage that could be done.
Yes, in a sense. I mean, it's from the BJP's perspective, it is a important issue to bring up at this time, particularly given the dissent within the possible dissent within the Lingayat community with regard to leaders like Jagdish Shettar who left the party. But the issue I would not say is limited to the BJP, but also across the political spectrum, with the Congress also using it as an opportunity to possibly consolidate votes amongst the Muslim community. So it is sort of, yes, I would say the timing is keeping in mind the broader issues or dissent within the Lingayat community, but also looking at it from across the political spectrum. All political parties have pounced on this to sort of politicize the issue and play vote bank politics.
Okay, Pratap Kanagal, but amidst all this, where does the JDS stand? I mean, the Vocaligas, the BJP is saying they will offer them quota. They are also aggressively campaigning in Old Mysuru. Clearly, they are looking at that community now.
See, it's not the first time they're doing it. Even in the last election, they campaigned it, But see, in Karnataka, what happens in Karnataka elections, it's like, Karnataka elections, the voters vote based on the local leaders, like, the local state level leaders. It works like that. It's not like, the national, Karnataka never votes on the national leaders. Mostly it votes on the local leaders. If you take the example of BJP's performance in 2008, where Modi was not even not even involved in the election, BJP won 110 seats. And when 2018, when Mr. Modi and Amit Shah was completely involved in the election, they reduced to 100. Why they didn't get the majority? So more the national leader comes, it's advantage JDS. Whenever more and more national leaders visit state, the state leaders get sidelined.
Right.
It's an advantage for us.
Okay, we will see. The JDS is looking quite optimistic, but at the moment, the buzz largely is between the BJP and the Congress campaign on the ground. Their biggest leaders out at the moment campaigning, crisscrossing the state. Vijay Prasad had a point to make. Vijay, go ahead.
See, now, one thing I don't understand is we have some clear case example of Andhra Pradesh, as well Andhra Pradesh in 2005, where even Rajshekhar Reddy, the Congress chief minister, chief minister, he went ahead and reserved 4% for the Muslims just to appease one category, Muslims. And what did the Andhra Pradesh 5-bench court did? They scrapped that 4% reservation. And why this has been done? Time and again, we have been saying that, and we have been proving that Congress is using Muslims as their vote bank politics and for their appeasement politics, and they use and throw like the tissue paper.
Okay,
they
all
don't
right.
have any
So basically the point that you are making, Aishwarya Mahadev, the point that Vijay Prasad is making here is that the time and again, the Muslim quota is not viewed, as you are saying, based on their socio-economic condition, but as faith-based quota, even though you might want to differ on that count.
It's not just me differing. It is backward classes commissions. It is reports of governments. It is reports of justices that are saying it. But of course, the common sense of WhatsApp University seems to be stronger, Maha. But the fact is, since 1921, even under the previous royal kingdom or the Mysore state, as it was, the reservation for these communities was offered because of social and economic backwardness and not faith-based. Every single legal document will tell you the same. Even the submission in the Supreme Court, when you saw the argument for these petitioners, Justice Nagratna there, who's one of the judges, pointed out that the argument of the government saying that this was religious was fallacious and wrong based on the same Karnataka metrics of the backward classes commissions. Always saying is, if it's an election time, please come on agenda and a plank of development or tell us what you've done for the people.
Okay,
do not use these rules of division or these ideas of divide to further break society in Karnataka because it's convenient for you, because you are bankrupt of any issues and bankrupt of any development. That's always saying to the BJP.
All right, last 2 minutes left. I'll give Vijay Prasad 1 minute to respond, and then I'll go across to Sanjal for the closing comments there. Vijay Prasad.
See, I would like to say we never believe in religion-based politics. Okay, sorry, religion-based reservation. Now, BJP has shown the tenacity and the bold decision to abolish category 2B. We stand by that. We condemn the Congress's attitude of saying that we will, if voted to power, if at all they voted to power, they will bring back the 4% Muslim reservation.
All right. Okay. Let me go across to the last speaker now.
Sanjal Shastri. Aware that they're not going to come back. That's why they have touched this reservation.
Okay, last
BJP
1 minute left. Sanjal Shastri,
Shastri.
Mr. Pratap, I'll request Sanjal Shastri to make the closing comments here. 4% quota versus 40% commission allegations. Do you see these two remaining as the core narratives in this campaign now in the last next few days?
Yes, I do think the 40% commission and the 4% quota would be a major issue on which the election campaign will be built. Also, keeping in mind how Karnataka votes generally in state elections, local issues do come to the forefront. And if you look at 2013, when you had the build up to the 2014 election when there was nationally a big wave in favor of the BJP. Karnataka voted quite decisively for the Congress. And then a year later, when you had the Lok Sabha elections, they voted decisively in favor of BJP, which does show that in Karnataka, especially in the assembly elections, it's state level issues and the issue of state leadership, state government performance. These are issues that matter not broader national issues.
Okay, we'll have to leave it at that. Many thanks to all four of our guests for joining us here on this discussion. Clearly, a lot is riding on these elections for the BJP, especially because this Karnataka state is the only state down south under the Vindhyas which it has, and therefore it's putting all its might at the moment to keep the state with it. On the other side, the Congress party believes that it has a fair chance this time around, and so their campaigning is equally aggressive. With that, we're taking a very quick break. Many thanks for watching.
Co-presented a deeply polarized world where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse. We take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
"20 years since we started, this music has been with you, playing in your homes, at work, and in your car. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Calling all music buffs from across India to let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track for the world to hear. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv to access the original track. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two to the luxurious Alila Fort, Bishangarh, Rajasthan. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebrations.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story India is closely watching. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7. 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Debates are essential not just for journalism, but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion.
Shiromani Akali Dal patriarch Parkash Singh Badal dies. The former Punjab Chief Minister was 95. India-China defense ministers to meet on Thursday, the first meeting since the Galwan Valley clashes. The Chinese minister will be in India for the SCO Defense Ministers Summit. Meet. Gangster-turned-politicians Anand Mohan to walk free. One convicted of killing Gopalganj DM in 1994. IS Association expresses dismay at Nitish government decision. First batch of stranded Indians leave Sudan. INS Sumedha at Port Sudan to evacuate Indians to Jeddah. Manish Sisodia named for the first time in CBI charge sheet. CBI filed supplementary charge sheet in the liquor policy case. Joe Biden makes a presidential rebid official. Will it be Biden versus Trump for the presidential race again? Gangster turned politician Anand Mohan is going to walk free. This after the Nitish government took a decision on remission. He's the killer of an IAS officer who was in fact in life imprisonment. Let's take a look now at the kind of criticism that is coming the way of Nitish Kumar, with the IAS Association also fuming over Anand Mohan's release.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and his deputy Tejasvi Yadav, with the man described as Bihar Bahubali, Anand Mohan, at the engagement ceremony of his son RJD MLA Chetan Anand. Anand Mohan was sentenced to death in 2007 for the murder in 1994 of then Gopalganj DM G. Krishnaya for allegedly instigating a mob to lynch the 1985 batch officer. The death sentence was commuted to life imprisonment in 2008 by the High Court. The Bihar government has now amended prison rules to set free Anand Mohan, a Rajput leader. So far, remission was not allowed for a person convicted of murdering a public servant.
It is a very wrong decision. It is a self-motive decision only. To get the vote bank only, the Nitish ji is doing this. See, otherwise there is no necessity to bring the criminal into the society again to do the more crimes. In the marriage of his son, both the engagement, both the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister also are present.
In 2008, Uma Krishnaya had told NDTV she is skeptical of justice being done in the case.
So this is happening to an IAS officer. What about others?
Anand Mohan, who is out on parole, expects to be set free within days.
गुजरात में भी नीतीश कुमार और आरजेडी के दबाव में कुछ फैसला हुआ है, फिर जेल जाना है, लौट के आएंगे, रिहाई पर जब ठप्पा लग जाएगा, शादी विवाह से निवृत्त हो जाएंगे तो फिर लोगों को बुलाएंगे, आपको भी बुलाएंगे.
The convicted former MP's wife, Lovely Anand too, was an MP. And son Chetan Anand is the sitting RJD MLA.
वो बेचारे तो बलि के बकरा हैं, वो तो इतनी सजाब हो गए हैं, उनकी रिहाई पर किसी को कोई आपत्ति नहीं है.
Anand is from the Rajput community that comprise 8% of Bihar voters and can influence results in over 30 seats, the chunk that both the BJP and RJD-JDU are eyeing. The JDU on its part has maintained that Anand Mohan is coming out after due process and serving his sentence. The IAS Officers Association is considering challenging in court the release of Anand Mohan. With Manish Kumar in Patna, Uma Sudhir in Hyderabad for NDTV.
After the shocking decision of the Nitish government, let's look at this reaction that has come in from IAS officer, the former IAS officer, the Gopalganj DM, who was killed at the behest of Anand Mohan, his wife Uma Krishnaya.
See, please, I ask our Chief Minister and I request the Prime Minister and President ji also, please give the correct decision. Means don't give the opportunity to the criminals to come into the society again and do more crimes, and also to encourage the criminals.
Meanwhile, the IAS Association is going to challenge the Bihar government move in court. The IAS body has said it tantamounts to denial of justice. Dilution of rules lead to impunity and can lead to erosion in the morale of public servants. Request the Bihar government to reconsider its decision. Let's move on now. The Prime Minister was in Kerala, a big infrastructure push and also an outreach to the Christian community. The Prime Minister met with bishops in Kerala and it was it is believed that he, as the bishop said, listened to their concerns as well.
From a people's outreach on Monday to an infra push on Kerala on Tuesday, Prime Minister's Kerala blids range from flagging off the state's first Vande Bharat Express
in Kerala and a proud moment for all Keralites,
to formally opening the Kochi Water Metro and the country's first digital science centre, and announcing several other development projects for Kerala.
हमारी सरकार कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म पर बल देती है, राज्यों के विकास को देश के विकास का सूत्र मानती है। केरला का विकास होगा तो भारत का विकास और तेज होगा।
Though Prime Minister's big push has been to tell the people of Kerala that the BJP government brings for them development and inclusion, all eyes remained on his minority outreach that saw him interacting with bishops on Monday.
We shared also the anxieties that we have in our mission work in North India, which are hindered by certain activities of the religious fundamentalists. Of course, he promised that there will be protection for all believers in India.
Kerala has an 18% Christian population in the state, and so far the BJP has not made much headway electorally. And by proactively reaching out to the Christian community and the youth, Prime Minister Mohali expects the picture to change.
Are you from? अच्छा, आप बढ़िया हिंदी बोलते हैं, कविता भी लिखते हो, विज्ञान भी करते हो, इतने सारे टैलेंट।
हर भवन को साफ करो, भारत को स्वच्छ बनाएगा, यह हमारे धर्म है।
The Prime Minister also had what he called a memorable interaction on board the Vande Bharat Express.
I am someone who is very much interested in Kochi.
So you are my advisor now.
But Uma Sudhir and SP Babu in Kochi, Sam Daniel, Fine TV.
Well, top leaders of the BJP and the Congress have been crisscrossing the state of Karnataka as the campaign heats up, from Amit Shah and JP Nadda focusing on JDS bastions to grab their Vokaliga votes, to Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge for the Congress. Even Priyanka Gandhi is in the poll-bound state now. This is Priyanka Gandhi's first visit to the state after the announcement of elections.
15 days for Karnataka to go to polls. Campaigns in top gear. Leading the BJP charge, Home Minister Amit Shah. 3 rallies and 3 road shows in 2 days. Amit Shah keeping focus of banned outfit, PFI and Muslim reservation to corner the Congress.
कांग्रेस पार्टी कहती है पीएफआई पर बैन लगाने की जरूरत नहीं थी। मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन था, 4% रिजर्वेशन। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने वोट बैंक की लालच में पड़े बगैर ये मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन को समाप्त कर दिया है।
After Amit Shah's turn of massive road shows and rallies, in the old Mysuru region, the Vokkaliga heartland, it is now the turn of Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi, who toured in parts of Mysuru and Chamarajnagar where the BJP is trying to make inroads, launching a scathing attack against the ruling BJP, harping on the party's poll narrative of 40% government.
सबसे ज्यादा दुख की बात तो ये कि ये जो 40% की सरकारा चली उसने आपको लूटा। कहा जाता है कि 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए लूटे गए हैं कर्नाटका प्रदेश से। आपको मालूम है कि इन 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपयों में से कितना बन सकता था आपके प्रदेश के लिए? 100 एम्स के अस्पताल बन सकते थे।
Amit Shah stepped up the attack against the Congress in Bagalkote that the state will be afflicted with riots if Congress comes to power.
अगर कांग्रेस गलती से भी आ गई बहनें मेरी बात खास सुने, कांग्रेस घटती में भी आ गई तो ऑल टाइम हाई करप्शन होगा, तुष्टीकरण होगा, ऑल टाइम हाई परिवारवाद होगा और कर्नाटक पूरा दंगे से ग्रस्त हो जाएगा।
Karnataka, the gateway to South India for the BJP, which has been aggressively campaigning across the state. In a significant push, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding nearly 15 rallies until elections, while the Congress's election agenda remains with its local leaders. In Bengaluru with Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
Now, the first batch of stranded Indians have left from Sudan. Operation Kaveri is on to bring back the Indians from Sudan. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that ships and aircraft are going to bring the stranded Indians back home. Now, the CBI has filed its charge sheet and the name that has come up in that is that of former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in the Delhi liquor policy case. The CBI has filed its supplementary charge sheet in the particular case. Abuchi Babu, auditor of BRS leader Kavitha, has also been named as an accused. Arjun Pandey and Amandeep Dhal also named as accused in the supplementary charge sheet. The CBI keeps further investigation open on the role of other accused in the case. Parkash Singh Badal, a five-time former Chief Minister of Punjab and Akali Dal patriarch, died at a private hospital in Mohali. He was 95. The death was confirmed by the personal assistant of his son and party president Sukhbir Singh Badal. The former Chief Minister was admitted to the Fortis Hospital in Mohali a week ago after he complained of uneasiness while breathing. He was also the youngest Chief Minister to ever hold office in the state of Punjab. Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the tributes to the Punjab leader, calling him a colossal figure of Indian politics and a remarkable statesman.